Enjoy the convenience of 7 days a week banking and extended hours with Cube from First Arkansas Bank and Trust. Member FDIC. It's time for From the Short Grass with Trey Schaap, a golf podcast for those who love golf, struggle with golf, and just like to enjoy the outdoors and fellowship with friends, all while chasing a ball around trying to put it in a 4 1/4 inch diameter hole. From the Short Grass is brought to you by Blackman Auctions. For over 80 years, better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions. By MinnowsPlus.com. From baits to waders, if it helps you catch a fish, they have it. And now, from the Short Grass, here is your host, Trey Schaap.
Welcome to another edition of From the Short Grass. I am Trey Schaap. In this edition, we look back at an exciting week of college golf in Central Arkansas with the Little Rock Invitational at Chenal Country Club and the Inaugural Jackson T Stevens Cup at the Alotian Club. You will hear from the head coaches and individual winners of the Stevens Cup and from Jake Harrington of Little Rock Men's Golf as they defended their win last year, this year at the Little Rock Invitational. Minnows Plus is your one-stop shop for all your fishing and hunting needs. Right now, check out the Reveal cellular camera from TactCam, and you can find it on the web at minnowsplus.com.
This is Thomas Blackman of Blackman Auctions. Trey asked me to sponsor a show for another few months. Even though I don't like golf, I do like a show. I have no idea how he gets the awesome variety of guests on his show, but it is entertaining and informative even for a horrible golfer like myself. I'm learning a lot about the game and about the passion for playing. So much so, I've started using my country club for more than Sunday brunch. Trey makes golf interesting. I make auctions interesting. For auctions, listen to me. For golf, listen to Trey. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
Minnows Plus is your local source for live bait and live well supplies. They carry the entire line of SureLife products, everything from better bait and finer shiner to no ammonia products to keep your bait and your catch thriving till you get back to the dock. They are the best source for all your private land ponds. Minnows Plus has fish food and pond fertilizer to keep your pond healthy and thriving all year long. If you own or run a bait and tackle shop and need to resupply, contact Minnows Plus and ask about their wholesale prices. Open to the public and walk-ins are welcome. Find them on the web at minnowsplus.com.
The Little Rock Invitational at Chenal Country Club's Founders Course was dominated by the host institution, the Little Rock Trojans. They defended their 2020 title this year in a 17-shot victory over second-place finisher Lamar. On the tee is the head coach of the Little Rock Trojans, Jake Harrington.
Jake, congratulations. You go back-to-back the Little Rock Invitational. How are your guys able to get it done this week?
I mean, it helps when you have two guys leading the tournament. I mean, Anton and Magnus were playing great golf, and, it turned into an event with those two going after each other. Anton's a special player. Magnus is a special player. When you have guys that are clicking at the same time, Anton's shooting 65 the same time that Magnus is shooting the 60s as well. It helps us make that jump and be able to defend.
Last year, it was a down to the last hole, final putt even, to win over Arkansas State, a rival. This year, you were able to coast in a 17-shot victory. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, but, once again, the scoreboard's a little deceiving because if you looked at it on the front nine through 7 holes, we only had about a 3-shot lead. We weren't playing good. We were 5 over. We happened to flip the script on it, and we ended up 6 under on the round. But, yeah, that front nine wasn't very comfortable for me as a coach. So the guys kicked it in gear, did a whole lot. I mean, a lot of different things happened out there. Marcel birdies 5 out of 6 holes on the backside. And we closed great, and that's what we pride ourselves on. And that's what helped us get that victory over some great teams because the front nine, Boise State was starting to make a run, and, Lamar was playing good golf too.
Did you have to kind of crack the whip on the guys?
Well, yeah. I mean, I had to remind them where we were and just to take it easy because when you're at home, you have a 5-shot lead going into the last day. It was the exact position Arkansas State was in last year. They had 5 shots on us. So you can never be comfortable with that. So I just told the guys, this is your home course. Take it easy. Let the golf course come to you because at times when you're at home, you try to press too hard. And so these guys did a great job of giving themselves a lot of birdie putts, and we started capitalizing on those putts.
One more tournament left in the fall. You get to go to the Bahamas. For some reason, I don't know where my plane ticket is, but that's going to be a nice one to get out and go play.
It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a great way to cap the fall semester. We host out there in the Bahamas this year, and it'll be good for the guys, and it's going to be a great field. There's going to be a lot of, Ole Miss is 8 in the country. We were paired with them the final round of regionals last year. East Tennessee State's a top 20 team. South Florida. There's a lot of really good teams out there, and so it'll be good for us to test ourselves against the best, and, obviously a great destination to finish the fall.
Jake, good luck.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
In the inaugural Jackson T. Stevens Cup at the Alotian Club, both men and women's college teams competed for the coveted Stevens Cup. In the individual portion of the tournament, it took extra holes to determine the winners. Let's start with the ladies. On the tee from LSU, the women's individual champion, Ingrid Lindblad.
Obviously winning the individual championship here at the first Jackson T. Stevens Cup was special, but then to back that up with a team title had to be extra special.
Yeah, it's always special to have a team win and an individual then win. I'm just so proud of my teammates for getting those 3 points really early, so I didn't have to play 17 and 18.
What was it like out there this week?
This course is really tough. You really gotta, there's no place to miss it. You can't, if you hit in the fairway bunker, it's pretty wide off the tee, but even if you hit it in the fairway bunker, it's not easy shots. And around the greens, I really had trouble from the greenside bunkers. And it's just really tough around the greens.
Did you expect anything like this when you came to Arkansas?
I've been to the Blessings, so I figured it could be like this, but I feel this course is tougher than Blessings. I played last year. I played really good at Blessings, but it's really tough. The greens this week were really quick.
Winning the team title, as you said, though, you'd trade the individual titles for the team titles, and that's what a coach likes when they hear that team concept. But take me back to the individual title, and I know it was tough going up against a teammate there in the playoff.
I was very proud of what Carla did this week. She was close to winning last week, and then on 18th green, I was really hoping for her to get that up and down to make a par and actually win it. And then I thought we would split the title and just no playoff, but then she's like, no, we're having a playoff. And I was like, oh. But I'm very happy for her, and I'm really happy for our team as well.
Now, on the tee from Arkansas, the men's individual champion, Mateo Fernandez de Oliveira.
Mateo, obviously you didn't win the team competition here at the first Jackson T. Stevens Cup, but you won the individual competition. That has to feel good.
Yeah, I'm still happy for your sake, but we just got done with the team one. It sucks to lose, but overall it was a great week. I'm proud of the guys, the way we fought today. It was a good semester. We're looking forward for a good spring, and now it's time to rest a little bit and get ready for what's next.
Obviously, you guys have been on a pretty hot streak, winning at the Blessings, winning at the SEC match play, and coming in here. You probably felt pretty good coming into this one, didn't you?
Yeah, we feel great. I feel great for myself, and we feel great as a team as well. I was hoping today to get the win and get that streak going, but Notre Dame played great. They're a great team as well, and they were better than us today, so we're going to work hard to, if we have to face them again in the future, get the win.
Let's go back to the individual stroke play portion of this tournament. Walk me through those last playoff holes and how you were able to overcome.
Number 10, I think I played both times pretty good. The first time I had a really long putt. I just made 2 good putts, and then on the second hole I missed like a 10-12 footer for birdie. I didn't hit the best putt, but still was a good birdie chance. And then going to 16, I knew I had to be aggressive with that pin, even though it was stuck on the back. Well, I went to the left bunker, and then from there I needed to make 2 shots somehow, and well, hopefully I put it to 10 feet and then made a good putt.
Playing this Alotian Golf Club, you as a team get to play it more than others, but playing it in a tournament format, was it any different?
Yeah, it was a whole different world. I was talking to Brent, the head bro here at the Alotian, and we came here in September. I'm telling everyone the difference between the day we came, that it was a normal day in the week, and during the tournament it was like crazy. The difference, the greens were so much better, so much faster, so much firm. The fairways were, everything was in its place, and it couldn't be any better. Actually, I'm really thankful to Mr. Stevens and all the staff at the Alotian Club for putting on this event for all of us.
After 54 holes of stroke play, the teams were seeded for match play. Coming out on top on the men's side was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who defeated the Arkansas Razorbacks 4-1. On the tee, the head coach of the Fighting Irish, John Hendrigan. Coach, congratulations. You win the Inaugural Jackson T. Stevens Cup, and you did it over a home state favorite in the Arkansas Razorbacks. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great, and it was tough out there with the home crowd. You know, we didn't hear too many claps for us, but I think we could have a hole-in-one out there and not get a clap from the fans. So to battle through it, and really proud of the guys, you know, and we've just done so much over the years, you know, this team, and it's proud to be at this point and play at a tournament like this, and, you know, on national television, on the Golf Channel. It was just a phenomenal week, and just proud of the team.
What was it about the Alotian Club that seemed like it brought out the best in your guys?
I think we prepared really well. Like, we knew what we were going to get into with the slopey greens and the type of grass. So we prepared at home quite a bit. Did a lot of downhill putts, you know, 13 and on the stimp and things like that. So we prepared hard, and the guys were ready to go.
What does it say about your guys? You jumped out to a huge lead on Monday, and then you kind of went back a little bit on Tuesday, but then to come back in match play and really solidify that finish as number one as a team, and then to win it all today.
Yeah, this golf course will do it to you. It's tough out there, so it wasn't easy. And our guys, we have a saying that you just keep playing, you know. And it didn't go our way at times yesterday or today, but we just kept playing through it. And we got a pretty tough team mentally, and our mindsets were in the right spot today. And we were prepared to, you know, play at a pretty high level against a strong Arkansas team.
How do you feel going into the spring? Obviously, off of a win, I would think you'd feel pretty good, but obviously trying to win a conference championship, and then obviously the goal is an NCAA championship in late May.
Yeah, I think we're trending in the direction that we want, and we've been doing that for the last few years, and this program has gone through so much in the last 4 years, and to see where we're at right now, and we just build momentum all fall. You know, we got a couple of wins now and seconds and thirds, so we've done well all fall, and this team is amazing. They just never quit, you know, and we could win a tournament, and the next morning the guys are at the facility working hard again. So they're very, very determined, and they're not happy with just, you know, a couple wins here and there. They want to keep winning. So I think it's going to be a nice off season, that they're going to gain some momentum after this week, and I think you're going to see a great spring for the Irish.
Having a collegiate tournament in this type of setting, what do you say to recruits and stuff that, hey, potentially you might be able to come back here in a couple of years?
It doesn't get any better than this. You know, Mr. Stevens and what he did, and being on Golf Channel, and the golf course is phenomenal, and the views, it doesn't get any better than this in college golf. So, and players, recruits, they come to Notre Dame for that. And our guys came there and came to Notre Dame, and I sold them that in recruiting, that you're going to play in some elite events, and we're doing that. So I think recruits see that. They're going to see us on live TV, you know, today, and the coverage again tonight, and that's why they want to come to Notre Dame, to play in events like this and play against some of the best teams in the country.
Coach, good luck in the spring.
Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
On the women's side, it was an all-SEC final, as LSU was able to beat South Carolina 4-1. On the tee, the head coach of the LSU Tigers, Garrett Runyon. Coach, congratulations. You win the women's division of the first Jackson T. Stevens Cup. What does it mean?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, I know when I got the call for the invitation, I didn't know much about – I mean, I heard of Alotian Club and heard of Mr. Stevens, but when they told me what they were doing, I said in. I said, they go, well, let us know in a couple. I said, I'm in. And this exceeded our expectations, and I knew it was going to be pretty nice. And to be the first winner of the inaugural event is awesome. I mean, it makes you want to play the next one again. You know, it's a great feeling for sure.
When you looked at the teams that were going to be here, I mean, SEC loaded, but there were some other tough teams as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously the SEC teams in Arkansas, South Carolina, and Ole Miss, we see them a lot. We know they're good. Baylor traditionally has a really good team, and Virginia typically Rhea has a really good team there. So we knew, I mean, these greens were so fast that if we could eliminate the mistakes, we could do well. But, yeah, I thought at the beginning of the week, any one of those 6 teams had a shot at winning.
How do you prepare for a course and a tournament like this?
Well, luckily for us, we had on our men's team was Connor Gaunt. He's from Arkansas, and he had knowledge of the course. So he sat down with me, and he spent like an hour typing up some notes on each hole. And we printed those out. We used them during the practice round, and that really helped shorten the learning curve for us. So those notes were very helpful, and I think that helped us tremendously. We knew the greens would be fast and slopey, so we did as much lag putting and speed drills as we could. And we knew that you weren't going to go around this place without 3-putting, and if you could stay focused and patient and eliminate any big numbers, you'd be near the top, and thankfully we did that.
What do you take away from this week here at the Alotian Club?
You know, it was a great week. It was a championship-style course. It was a tough course, and, you know, I took away that our team can handle a big atmosphere with the Golf Channel, a big course, a strong course where you have to step up and hit some golf shots. You know, a lot of tournaments you can get away with a lot of stuff. Here, you couldn't take a play off. And it's just a mental grind the whole way through, and our ladies were able to handle that. So, I mean, take away a lot of positives here.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, on the tee to recap the Jackson T. Stevens Cup is the chairman, Warren Stevens.
Mr. Stevens, wow. What a phenomenal first Jackson T. Stevens Cup.
Well, thanks, Trey. Appreciate you being here. And, yeah, it was. I mean, it was better than I even expected and hoped for. And we, you know, helped by the best stretch of weather I can remember in a long time for any event we have had at Alotian. So, yeah, it just was beyond, I think, anyone's expectations. And I've seen some of the coverage that are on Golf Channel, and to have the opportunity to show off Arkansas and people, I'm sure you've heard some of the announcers' comments and have what they had to say about the golf course, but also just about Arkansas and whatnot. I'm very, very pleased that we were able to do that here.
You pulled it off. Unfortunately, the Razorbacks not able to win, faced a very tough Notre Dame team, but in match play, anything can happen.
Well, I think we saw that. I mean, Segundo Pinto was 5 down and then played 18 with the match all tied. Unfortunately, he lost on a heartbreaking horseshoe putt. But Notre Dame played great all week, and they deserved to win. You know, they were the only team in the 54 holes that was under par collectively as a team, and they had, and in the individual competition, they were tied for 1, 2, and 4. It's pretty impressive. Yeah. Hats off to Notre Dame. They played great, and I know I was talking to Coach Runyon a little bit. It's been a work in progress for a while, but I'm glad they were able to come and glad to have them here, and they're certainly have a chance to defend next year, as will the LSU women.
Speaking of LSU women, an all-SEC final, unfortunately, again, the Arkansas Razorbacks just barely missed getting into that championship match. What did you see from the women this week?
Well, I've said this for a long time. I actually enjoy watching the women, both these amateurs and in the LPGA pros, swing more than I do the men, because I have nothing in common with the men. I mean, I don't understand what they're doing, and I sure can't swing that hard. The women are swinging hard too. It just doesn't look like it. What great players, again, and they're from all over the world. And I think that's one of the great things about where collegiate golf is going, where it is now, where it's headed. I mean, all the great players around the world want to come play collegiate golf in the United States. I hope going forward, one of the reasons will continue to be because you get to go to places like this and play, and not only get to play medal play, which is important for their individual rankings, but have a match play, which apparently they don't get to do, which I didn't really know till one of the coaches said that. So I'm very hopeful that this will become a staple for the collegiate game, and I'm pretty sure it will. I mean, we're getting calls from coaches that want to get in.
The lady that shot 69, what a round of golf from where she started to where she finished her round here at the Alotian Club. Spectacular.
Nothing but it was just absolutely spectacular, and I'm so happy for her. I didn't get to see any of. I've seen it on video, but I didn't get to see any of it live, and I so wish I had. But she was talking to Mark Brazel, one of our tournament directors, and he lives in Greensboro, and he knows her. And he said, "What'd you learn this week?" And she said, "Well, I don't need to be nervous, and I can play." And he said, yes, you absolutely can play. And, to go from 84 to 81 to 69 and to birdie 14, 16, 17, and 18, let me tell you, that just doesn't happen out here. I mean, you couldn't pick a tougher stretch of holes to say, oh, I'm gonna birdie 4 out of the last 5 holes. It's a brutal stretch.
Congratulations on a great event.
Well, thanks, Trey. I really appreciate it.
On Thursday, November 11th, Blackman Auctions will have the Sandman Estate Auction. Backhoe, forklifts, scrap bins, and so much more will be up for auction. For more information, go to blackmanauctions.com.
Minnows Plus is your local source for live bait and live well supplies. They carry the entire line of SureLife products, everything from better bait and finer shiner to no ammonia products to keep your bait and your catch thriving till you get back to the dock. They are the best source for all your private land ponds. Minnows Plus has fish food and pond fertilizer to keep your pond healthy and thriving all year long. If you own or run a bait and tackle shop and need to resupply, contact Minnows Plus and ask about their wholesale prices. Open to the public and walk-ins are welcome. Find them on the web at minnowsplus.com.
This is Thomas Blackman of Blackman Auctions. Trey asked me to sponsor a show for another few months. Even though I don't like golf, I do like a show. I have no idea how he gets the awesome variety of guests on his show, but it is entertaining and informative even for a horrible golfer like myself. I'm learning a lot about the game and about the passion for playing. So much so, I've started using my country club for more than Sunday brunch. Trey makes golf interesting. I make auctions interesting. For auctions, listen to me. For golf, listen to Trey. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
On the tee with our weekly rules segment, it's PGA Master Professional Adam Carney. Adam, this question is one that kind of interesting. Annika Sorenstam was playing in a tournament and hit a drive that came to rest near a fence, a boundary fence. Her ball was determined to be in bounds, though, and she thought she had a shot if she opened a gate that was part of that boundary fence. The rules official said she couldn't open it, but then the following day, the ruling was determined to be incorrect. Is this another one of those bad luck starts somewhere?
Not really. And this is a great example of a ruling that I think even the most seasoned rules official would call in somebody himself for a second. I don't think I would make this call on my own. I'm not sure what I would have thought, and there's a lot of moving parts to this ruling, so I hope I don't go too long here. But so under the circumstances of that competition, the actual posts were determined to be the boundary, not the fence that was attached to the post. However, they did determine that the fence was in and of itself integral, which means you don't get relief from an immovable obstruction under those circumstances. I think the rules official was operating under the assumption that he knew the boundary. I mean, those guys aren't out there and not knowing what's defining a boundary. And he knew that the fence itself was integral. Now we run into the fence opening itself. It's not integral. There was a decision in the old rules book that talked about a barn on a golf course where the player had, an obstructed shot, couldn't play a stroke towards the green because this barn was in the way, but if they opened the barn doors, they could play it through the barn and at the green, and the ruling was, yes, they could move those. So at that point, that was an immovable obstruction, but part of the obstruction was movable. So it was just an illustration of the fact that an immovable obstruction can have a movable element to it that can be moved.
Interesting.
We kind of saw that with TIOs, to temporary movable obstructions, cameras, to where, hey, can we move the camera from this way to this way? Kind of turning it on that tripod or whatever, and now it's not in the way. So under the circumstances, that gate was not integral, and it was not defining a boundary, right?
Right.
The stakes it was attached to
were
defining the posts were defining the boundary. And so she was actually entitled to open that gate. Now, let me say this about Annika Sorenstam. I've probably been to, 12 to 15 rules of golf workshops where you take the rules exam. The only tour player I've ever seen at one of those is Annika Sorenstam. Annika is one of the great people in golf that respects the rules as a player. And I'm not saying that other players don't respect the rules, but she understands them. So if someone were going to make that claim and actually be right, it would probably
be her.
In fact, I never. They don't share scores, but I'd heard through the grapevine she actually did score higher than 80 on the rules exam, which does get you qualified to work USGA events, not a U.S. Open or U.S. Amateur, but I think 85 gets you that. PGA.
Just for those that might question your credentials here, what was your score?
My high score on the exam was 99, 6 times, I think, something like that.
Yeah, you're a master in the rules of golf.
Yeah, well, they always put one question on that has two answers. I'd always argue with the USGA.
Oh, I thought it was you didn't spell your name correctly.
No, I got that one right. I got that one wrong on the SATs. But, there was always 1 or 2 questions on every exam where it's they hated people getting 100 on the exam. And I know tons of people that got 100, and it's like, okay, it could be this or either one of these fit and this works, and there'll be 2 or 3 questions on there. You're bound.
And
to
that
get one
exam
of
is
them
not
wrong.
an open book exam, is it?
Half of it.
Half of it is. Okay.
Half of it is. So in all actuality, the exam itself, the open book portion is typically much, much harder than the closed book. But what I would do when I would take the exam is obviously you do the closed book first, and then I would go do the open book and answer every question I knew without opening the book. Because if you're going to sit down and you're going to open the book for all 50 of those questions, you're going to
run
time
out of
out.
time.
So I would go through, and I would typically get down to 10 or 12 that I actually had to open the book for. And it was intentional. I mean, I'm not going to name names of the people that wrote the rules exams. I know who they were, knew them personally. And they knew they knew what questions were going to be there where you're going to have to open the book. And they knew which questions were going to be questionable. It could go either way. Stuff that if you answered A and they think it's B, A would not make national news if it actually happened as an official made a wrong decision. So, but yeah, Annika was one of those people that, she would, this is back when she was playing, and she would be there and take rules tests. So the moral of the story on this one is it's a lengthy ruling. It's an intricate ruling. There are some local rules in effect there with the fence itself being an integral part of the golf course, which I would understand because, you don't want them essentially getting relief from it's not defining a boundary, but it could be, so we take away the gray area. I think that's a great example where as a rules official you call in a second. I can remember, I know we're running short on time here, our 07 PGA championship, Heinrich Stenson asked a question of Ed Horde, and Ed Horde was head golf professional at Athens Country Club in Georgia, one of the great rules officials in the PGA of America. And he came up to, I was working with Ed on 18 at Southern Hills, and Heinrich Stenson came up and wanted to know if, hey, if I ask where the cut line is that considered, advice? I wanted to go, well, no. I knew the answer right away. And Ed Horde said, let me check on that. And I'm thinking, really? Ed Horde needs to check on that? And he told me later, he said, look, even some of the easiest ones out there,
it's always better to get a second.
Sometimes the easiest ones, he said, how many times have you missed a question on a test somewhere and you just want to smack yourself because you knew that? He said, it doesn't hurt just to get on the radio and say, hey, everybody agreement with me, this is not advice, and we move on. And I learned a very valuable lesson that day. And I think the official in this situation probably learned one too. And if you note Annika's response to it, she was not upset, she was not angry. I think she said something like, well, you know what? You never get that one wrong again, will you? Neither will I, and I'll never hit it there again.
Exactly.
So, it's just one of those things. She took it well, and mistakes happen, and thankfully it was somebody that, like Annika Sorenstam, that has such great respect for the game, the rules officials, the committee, and the people that are out there trying to make it fair for everybody.
He's Adam Carney. I'm Trey Schaap. If you have a question on the rules of golf, send us an email from theshortgrass@gmail.com. That will do it for this edition of From the Short Grass, and I leave you with this quote. If you are caught on a golf course during a storm and are afraid of lightning, hold up a 1-iron. Even God can't hit a 1-iron. That from Lee Trevino. Remember to repair your ball mark on the green and a couple of more, and I hope to see you from the Short Grass.
You've been listening to From the Short Grass, a weekly podcast dedicated to the game of golf. From the Short Grass is brought to you by MinnowsPlus.com and Blackman Auctions. This has been a presentation of the Buzz Radio Network.